they've allowed me to take an opportunity about 15 minutes till 1 o'clock to tell you a little story that I'd like to share with you. So good afternoon. I'm delighted to be here talking to you guys today. I'm Brian Gray. I'm an architect with Page with 35 years of experience. We are a global, multidisciplinary architecture and engineering firm with offices in 21 cities and a workforce surpassing 1,400 employees. Our services range from the earliest of strategic discussion to the completion of highly complex buildings for use. Clients seek our services across a broad range of project types and market sectors. Central to our core business and my personal passion is the convergence of all these market sectors to healthcare. Now, there is one I should probably add up here, is our aviation program, which blends into the aerospace industry. But today I'd like to share with you a story of a journey to create a new digitally transformed hospital. And this story is of the new Houston Methodist Cypress Hospital. It is set to open in the first quarter of 2025, so just about 3 months from now. Now, of course, it takes great partners to execute such, and we're thrilled that this is a continuation of a long-standing collaboration with Houston Methodist Hospital, a leader in safety, quality, service, and now innovation. I would just like to get one of those jackets that Roberta has with the digitally innovative, interested people. That was a cool jacket. So this project marks their journey. They started about 5 years ago with a commitment to reinvent the future as a leader in innovation, research, and design. Through their strategic initiative to place digital innovation technology at the forefront of their core offering, they created the Center for Innovation, putting the people in place to think what's possible. The Center for Innovation built an incubation lab known as the Tech Hub, a 2,500 square foot facility in the Texas Medical Center, where vendors, products, services, and softwares are brought together to test functionality and scalability prior to implementing in the clinical setting. A 3D walkthrough is available through the QR code on the screen. In 2021, 2 years into their innovation journey, the timing was right for a new hospital to be designed as the digital hospital of the future. The opportunity came with the purchase of a 108-acre site in the northwest region of the Houston Metro in Cypress, Texas. This would be the opportunity to design a hospital from ground up with innovation as its leading goal. An overview of the project would show 900,000 square feet of hospital and medical office buildings, with capacity to double over time to nearly 500 patient rooms in its master plan. The campus specializes in cancer, cardiovascular, neuro, orthopedic care, and hosts community sports fields for health and fitness. A fun fact about this campus is that nearly 380 miles of copper cabling were installed in the facility to support the digital needs of the campus. Now, they did not want to go about this journey alone and consulted with academic healthcare systems across the country who had recently built technological, sophisticated facilities. It was clear that technology usage in a hospital needed to simplify the experience rather than to complicate it. Some systems reflected that their nursing staff was spending valuable time as their IT support for their patients and families, or that they had to hire additional staff for tech support. Our partnership with the Center for Innovation at Houston Methodist would be the bridge needed to bring their ideas from conception to reality. Our experience in design and construction was leveraged by the center to give great understanding of the execution equation. My apologies, I did not realize that was not advancing. In meeting with the center, they had identified several types of technology that they would like to implement in the hospital setting. Page and its consultant, SSR, were able to help organize and plan and budget the infrastructure needed to support the hospital in their hardware and software needs. We programmed each room of the hospital to identify locations for innovation usage, which also allowed us to compare across the entire program and equitable levels of technological care that were implemented across the facility. A brief overview of some of the technologies implemented in this hospital include self-check-in and guided navigation using your cell phone, autonomous robotic kitchens to deliver culinary nutritional meals on demand, with multitude of menu selections created from fresh ingredients. And if you really don't like hospital food, they have food lockers to receive and drop off from all delivery services right there at the front door. And in addition to that, overnight, when most of the hospital is quiet and most of the staff has gone home, you can drop in to a 24-hour market in which the cameras and the weight scales will track your grab-and-go selections for automatic credit card payment as you walk out. They implemented ambient care in the patient rooms. This alerts staff at a nurse station of patient movement in the room, and it increases awareness and reduces fall risk. Autonomous guided vehicles for food, materials, and medicine transports throughout the hospital. However, this particular innovation is not yet to be implemented until the future, when the facility actually reaches a critical build-out mass that justifies the needs for material movement. However, we have prepared the facility with robot pathways that include control of automatic doors, elevator controls, and security access where needed. Multiple technologies were built into the patient room, including ambient voice control for television, lighting, and air conditioning. Digital foot walls integrated into the television with real estate for patient and staff information. Now, granted, it's not as big as this digital foot wall, but it's kind of like it, especially with a line there that you can use for staff information. Bio buttons that patients would wear for constant monitoring of patient vitals. Cameras for physician and telehealth rounding, and for patient movement detection, as we talked about. Digital door signs for room status. Patients can call a nurse and tell them their needs on the nurse call system. It shows up on the digital door sign. So one of the main strategies of this patient room was to provide controls that we mentioned for lighting, entertainment, and air conditioning seamlessly by multiple methods, including traditional devices, switches, thermostats, nurse call, but also by personal handheld devices or tablets that you bring, and by voice commands. The hospital chose to use the Alexa services, which people are familiar with in their home. It takes a lot to make decisions to make something like this happen, and Houston Methodist understood the commitment needed at all levels of the organization to engage in delivering the digital hospital of the future. During the planning and design process, stakeholders from the hospital, from the design team, and from the construction team gathered in an all-day workshop to collaborate on setting the framework for success. Various perspectives, such as IT, leadership, innovation, and end users, were brought to the table. The workshop aided in developing a consistent perspective and direction on the innovation mission and goals. Full-size room mock-ups were built in a warehouse located on the project site. The initial mock-ups were rough plywood and foam core, and time was spent during the workshop to provide input and perspectives from all stakeholders. This workshop and its activities encouraged all to voice and to listen to various thoughts and inputs with empathy toward all points of view. Eventually, breaking down the plywood and cardboard mock-ups and replacing them with full-scale finished mock-ups, stakeholders could tweak their final comments, and the planning and design team could adjust the final details of the construction documents to issue to be built in the field. But while the mock-ups at the hospital were being done, the integration systems testing was being done at the Tech Hub. The Tech Hub became the place where contractors and vendors would meet regularly to install, test, and coordinate wireless networks were provided to replicate the data platforms that they would find at the hospital. Challenges were discovered and overcome, such as sharing data content between vendors across private security networks, and testing products on the Methodist data system network to ensure seamless implementation at the job site. Synthesizing the job site mock-up and the Innovation Hub mock-up, our task was to design solutions to provide inviting patient environments that were both unobtrusive to the patient experience and for future needs. We started with the basis of design patient room with large windows, expansive light, and warm finished materials, and began to test ways to incorporate the technology into the footwall that would both be flexible and integrated into the design. Working towards integration and flexibility, the final solution would become the technology shelf. This would hide multiple power and data outlets. It would provide a hidden raceway for device cabling, and it provides flexibility for future changes. A key factor in flexible design in construction is to provide designs that can adapt to new technologies without drywall reconstruction, which is dirty, costly, and time-consuming. With thoughtful, flexible designs, updating the technology in a room can be reduced to days instead of weeks. Infection control measures can be reduced significantly if you don't need to cut into the walls or ceiling to make changes, and entire units of patient rooms can be modernized rapidly. Peeling back the layers of the footwall, you can see multiple electrical and data outlets hidden in the technology shelf and accessible through a hinged panel support detail at the digital footwall, such as this over here on the left. Knowing that the shelf-mounted technologies can change over time, the shelf acts as a plug-and-play support with extra capacity built in. At the head wall behind the patient, the hard-piped utilities are in the drywall, but yet they're connected through tubes to a panelized head wall system that allows reconfiguration in the future. Such flexibility will allow room optimization of technologies such as cameras, speakers, and microphones. An example would be identifying an optimal location for the Alexa device. Voice commands balanced with providing visual feedback of commands was important. With the Alexa, we found that as you call her name, a little blue light circulates, and it's really important to be able to see that so you know that she's responding to your command. Training and guidance are very important in criteria to adoption of new technologies, because without such, the use and benefit of technologies would not be realized. Our team created interactive graphic interface with hyperlinks to, one, connect staff with the vision for innovation, and two, to describe the types and uses of technologies implemented in the project. This is shared with leaders and staff during onboarding and training processes. The hyperlinks would point to 11 by 17 A3s for each technology that describes its innovation framework and directs you to website pages with key aspects of each technology's functionality. The project's strategic initiative toward the advancement of digital innovation in a hospital and for future flexibility provided both a framework for adoption of today's technologies and a flexibility for the adoption of future technologies yet unknown. And we'll see if there's audio on this one. Okay, so she's commanding Alexa to turn off the television. And voila, it works in a hospital setting. With that, I appreciate your attention and your time, and I welcome any questions and conversations that you may have. Thank you very much.